The world of combat sports is moving faster than ever, and we are breaking down the biggest headlines hitting the cage right now. Carlos Ulberg has officially arrived as the new light heavyweight king after a historic and gutsy performance. Even while battling through a torn ACL, he delivered a jaw-dropping knockout of Jiří Procházka to cement his spot at the top of the pound-for-pound rankings.
Tired of dropping your phone or struggling to prop it up? Meet the PopSockets phone grip with expanding kickstand in black, your new must-have accessory. Don't miss out. Grab yours today. Click the link in the video description to shop now on Amazon.
The action does not stop there, because the eyes of the MMA world are shifting north to Canada for a massive night of fights. Gilbert Burns and Mike Malott have both officially hit the scale at 171 pounds to lock in their high-stakes welterweight main event for UFC Winnipeg. The stage is set for a clash that could define the future of the division. This is a pivotal moment for both men as they step into the Canada Life Centre this weekend. For Gilbert Burns, this is a do-or-die comeback mission to save his career after a tough losing streak against the elite. Meanwhile, Mike Malott is looking to prove he is the next Canadian superstar and a future title contender in front of his home crowd. We have the expert picks, the odds, and the full breakdown of who will walk out of Winnipeg with their hand raised. You cannot afford to miss a second of this coverage as we track every move in the octagon. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and tap the bell notification to stay locked in on all things UFC. If you ever wondered what true elite resilience looks like, just look at Carlos Ulberg. In the most dramatic fashion possible at UFC 327, Ulberg didn't just win. He conquered the light heavyweight division on a shredded ACL. We're talking about a guy who took a devastating knee injury early in the fight and still found the perfect lead left hook to silence Jiří Procházka. That's not just skill, that's pure iron will. With this win, the city kickboxing standout has officially vaulted himself into the pound-for-pound conversation, extending a staggering 10-fight win streak. It's an incredible journey for the New Zealander, who once faced a rocky start in the UFC, but now stands at the absolute pinnacle of 205 pounds. While he's facing a long road of surgery and recovery ahead, there is no longer any doubt. The division belongs to him. From the undisputed brilliance of Islam Makhachev's historic two-division run to Ilia Topuria's explosive rise as the new face of the sport, the rankings are shifting under our feet. We've seen the legendary Alex Pereira bounce back from defeat to reclaim his throne, and veterans like Volkanovski and Oliveira proving that age is just a number when you have championship DNA. But let's be real, the parity in the UFC right now is at an all-time high. With fighters like Chimaev returning to dominance and a renewed Petr Yan looking sharper than ever, the race for the top spot is tighter than it has been in years. And don't sleep on the women's side, where Valentina Shevchenko continues to remind us all why she's arguably the greatest to ever step into the octagon, even as Kayla Harrison and the rest of the pack close the distance. What do you think? Is Ulberg's arrival at the top of the P4P list well-deserved, or is someone else holding that crown in your book? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss our next deep dive into the fight game. In this sport, the only thing more constant than the violence is the inevitable change at the top. Stay tuned to see who takes the throne next. Can Gilbert Burns stop the slide before it's too late? The stakes have never been higher for the welterweight veteran, as UFC Winnipeg officially gets the green light. Every single fighter hit their mark at the scales today, locking in a massive 12-bout card that fans have been waiting for. The headline attraction is set. Gilbert Burns and Mike Malott both stepped onto the scale at 171 pounds, making their 5-round welterweight collision official. Looking at the reality of the situation, this fight is a crossroads moment. Burns is currently battling through a tough 4-fight skid, having dropped decisions and losses to the absolute elite like Belal Muhammad and Sean Brady. At 39, he needs a statement performance to remind the division he is still a major player. On the other side of the cage, you have Mike Malott, a man building serious momentum. With recent wins over the likes of Kevin Holland and Trevin Giles, Malott has a chance to catapult himself into the top-tier rankings by taking out a legend. This is exactly the kind of volatility that makes MMA so unpredictable. The hungry prospect versus the battle-hardened veteran looking for redemption. You can catch all the action live on Paramount Plus this Saturday, with the prelims kicking off at 5 p.m. Eastern, and the main card taking over at 8 p.m. If you are as pumped for this as I am. Smash that like button and let me know in the comments. Is this the night Burns bounces back, or will Malott prove that it is time for a changing of the guard? Don't miss the fireworks, because in the UFC, one punch can change a career forever. It has been nearly a decade since Canada felt the glory of a UFC champion on home soil. But this Saturday, all eyes turn to Winnipeg as Mike Malott looks to carry that heavy torch. He is stepping into the main event spotlight against a man who is fighting for his very survival in the sport, Gilbert Burns. Is this the coronation of a new Canadian star, or the final stand of a veteran legend? Let's dive in. Burns enters this bout after a string of brutal losses that had even the man himself questioning if he should walk away. After a terrifying knockout at the hands of Michael Morales, which left him with a concussion and the kind of hematoma that keeps doctors up at night, Burns did some serious soul-searching. He's nearing 40, he's dropped 4 straight against the absolute elite of the division, and the physical toll is undeniable. But don't count him out just yet. Burns has spent this layoff working with sports psychologists and refining his approach, insisting he hasn't lost his fire. He just needed a better plan. On the other side of the cage, Mike Malott is living a career trajectory that is honestly fascinating. He spent years as the striking coach for legends like Cody Garbrandt and Uriah Faber before ever stepping into the UFC spotlight himself. It's a complete reversal of the traditional path, and now he's ready to prove he isn't just a coach, he's a contender. The betting markets have Malott as a significant favorite, and logically, that makes sense. He's younger, fresher, and has that home crowd energy behind him. However, keep in mind that Malott has never been in a 5-round main event before. Burns has been in the trenches with title holders and killers for years. If Burns can weather that initial storm and keep the pace steady, he could easily turn this into a nightmare for the Canadian prospect. I'm going against the grain here. I'm taking the underdog. I suspect the experience gap and the desperation of a veteran with his back against the wall will lead to a gritty TKO victory for Burns. This card is absolutely stacked with Canadian talent, from Charles Jourdain to Jasmine Jasudavicius, so make sure you catch all the action live on Paramount Plus. Are you backing the veteran to bounce back, or does Malott prove he's the real deal? Drop a comment below, hit that subscribe button for more fight breakdowns, and remember, in the octagon, the past doesn't matter as much as the next punch thrown. Ever wonder what the most tense moment in combat sports is? It isn't the final round, it is the scale. We are officially locked in for UFC Winnipeg, and the main event is heating up as both Gilbert Burns and Mike Malott hit the mark, coming in at exactly 171 pounds for their welterweight showdown. Seeing both fighters nail the weight so perfectly shows the level of discipline we are in for this Saturday night at the Canada Life Centre. Burns brings that veteran grit and high-level grappling that always makes him a massive problem for anyone in the division, while Malott has been on an absolute tear, hungry to prove he belongs at the top of the food chain. It is a classic clash of experience versus momentum. Make sure you don't miss a single second of this one because, with the weight cut out of the way, these two are ready to leave it all inside the octagon. Hit that subscribe button to keep up with all the post-fight reactions and highlights. In a game of inches, sometimes all it takes is one perfectly timed strike to change your entire career.